Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Astrology. My name is Kristiina and I want to teach you how to read your natal chart. So if you are interested in that, stay tuned because we are going to talk about the basics, the things and the terms that astrologers use and you need to know in order to be able to read your birth chart and not get confused, okay? So let's start off with the 12 zodiac signs. Now, astrology has 12 zodiac signs. They are all represented also in your birth wheel. If you go and check it out, you can get one very quickly on astro.com. So we have Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Aries is always ruling the first house cusp. And it kicks off the spring equinox around March 21st. Fourth house cusp is ruled by Cancer always. It kicks off the summer solstice. It's around June 21st. Then we have Libra on the cusp of the seventh house. It rules the seventh house naturally. It kicks off the fall equinox and it's around September 23, right? And then we have the 10th house cusp, which is always ruled by Capricorn. It kicks off the winter solstice, and this is around December 21st. Now, this is from Aries through Pisces. This is the natural order of your wheel. It doesn't appear so on your natal chart. So your birth chart is going to look completely different probably. Now, each of these zodiac sign constellations have their own glyph, and you need to learn them. So in order for you to be able to interpret your own chart, and each of these zodiac signs consists of 30 degrees. Now, degrees, minutes, and seconds are just the indication of, where the planets and all of your house cusps, in which sign they appeared at the time when you were born, okay? This is the meaning behind the degrees and minutes and seconds behind your zodiac sign glyph. If you look at the wheel, you can see some numbers. So this is what it means. And this is all you have to know. It's not really that important right now. You have to know that for aspects and if you want to calculate the exact position of the sign. But if you have like a computer calculated chart, you don't really know more. You don't have to know more about it. So moving on, we have the planets, right? So there are 8 known planets in astrology. We have Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and Sun and the Moon, which are actually luminaries. But to simplify things in astrology, we have included them as planets. So we have 10 basic planets in astrology that you have to know. So let's go over them slowly. So as we spoke, we have the sun, and it has its own glyph. We have the moon, which also has its own glyph. Then we have Mercury, we have Venus, planet Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. We will discuss the planets in more detail in the future. Moving on, we have also the aspects. So aspects are relationships between two planets, and they are very important when interpreting a chart because aspects add an element of harmony or disharmony to the person's life, actually. It's the energy that is going to play out in a person's life or within a person. So the aspects are... the most known aspects are conjunction, semi-sextile, semi-square, sextile, square, trine, sesqui-square, quincunx, and opposition. That just means that, let's say, if you two planets, Pluto and Venus, are squaring each other, it means they're 90 degrees apart. When they would make a trine, it means Pluto and Venus are 120 degrees apart from each other. Okay, that's all that it means. Each of these aspects also are allowed to have an orb of loosely 6 to 8 degrees. This is a completely personal preference. Now, the more closer to zero the aspect is, the stronger the influence of the aspect is. Now, there we have also harmonious aspects, which are the trine, sextile, and semisextile, and we have the difficult aspects, which is the square, opposition, and semisquare. Now, about conjunctions, they can be either harmonious, they can be disharmonious. It depends on the planets and the placement they are in. We will talk about that in more detail in the future. Now, the next very important thing, maybe not for a beginner, but something to know, is a word ephemeris. Ephemeris is a book. It can be also a series of books, and it contains charts that show where every planet was or will be or is for every day, past, present, or future. So if you need to look at where planet Venus was in 1927, you need an ephemeris, because this is where it's registered. But this is more to already, this is more advanced things. So we have retrograde and direct motion, these kind of words. These terms is to refer to the direction of planetary movement with relation to the Earth. So from the Earth standpoint, if there's a planet and it has letter D behind it, it just means the planet is in its normal forward movement. But if the planet has an R behind it, it just shows that the planet is going like backward. They don't really go backward, but from looking from the Earth, it appears to go backward. So this is when we say planet is in retrograde. And these are very significant things to know and to study, and we will discuss them later. Sun and moon are never retrograde. Then we have the ascendant, such a word. Ascendant is the sign and the degree of the sign that is rising on the Earth eastern horizon at the birth moment. Okay, the sign that was rising when you were born, and the degree it is in. And this indicates your first house beginning. Ascendant is always at the cusp of the first house. In natural horoscope order, if you remember, we start off with Aries, but with your birth chart, it can be any other sign. And it's also called a rising sign. It's very important. It's very important to know, but we will study and discuss it later on. Another important point in your natal chart is midheaven. It's abbreviated with MC, letters MC, and it stands for medium coeli or meridian, and it's the highest point in the zodiac at the time of your birth. When you're looking from the Earth, always from the Earth standpoint of view, we are talking here, okay? And it's always at the cusp of the 10th house and rules the 10th house. Then we have north and south nodes of the moon. North and south nodes are always opposite of one another. So let's say your north node is in the first house. It means that your south node is going to be at the 8th house. Nodes are always in retrograde. And whether they are minor or with a major influence, this is debatable between astrologers. This is very individual. Everyone has their own, opinion on how important they are. So that's very subjective. I personally consider them very important, and we will discuss them later. Moving on, we have elements. We have 4 elements in astrology. We have fire, earth, air, and water. Now, fire signs are Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. They are considered to be enthusiastic, energetic, optimistic, and usually happy, lucky signs. Then we have the earth, which is considered to be practical, down to earth, realistic. These people usually, inclined towards melancholy and caution. We have air signs considered to be intellectual, mental thinkers, mentally aloof and detached signs, which is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I did not mention it before, I'm sorry. And water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And water signs are considered to be emotional, sensitive, and feeling and intuitive, but moody and also fruitful signs. Elements also explain why each one of us is quite unique. It's, for example, a person with the most planets in the water signs like Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces is likely to be very emotional or intuitive. A person who has most of their planets in an earth signs like Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn tends to be rather more practical, and stable and down to earth, grounded kind of a person, right? Then we have the triplicity, triplicities. We have cardinal, fixed, and mutable. So cardinal is action people. They are action people. They like to initiate things. They like move around a lot. They like to get things off the dead center, and they want movement, results, progress. So if you want to get started something, to hire a cardinal person is a good choice. Fixed people are stable, don't like much change. They will stick to things and get them done. So if you need something finished, hire a fixed sign. And mutable are considered to be very versatile. They adapt quickly to any situation. People mixers and salespersons likes plenty of change, dislike routine. So these are your typical salespeople. So if you need selling something, you would hire a mutable sign person who has lots of mutable energy in their chart. And then finally we go to transits. So transits are positions of the planets at the present moment, not as they are at your birth. Okay, so transits trigger the natal chart into action. They attract minor events into your life. So to determine when an experience is likely to occur, we compare the transit positions in the sky at this current moment to the natal positions at the time of your birth and see if there are any aspects being made. So that is all of the basic information you need to know. If you learn it, if you memorize it, it's going to be much easier to continue from here and build up from here. So see you soon, and thank you for tuning in. Bye bye.